Hey guys, welcome back to the series of Java programming. So in this video we are going to learn about comments and some data types, and that's it. So let's get started. So firstly, we have some data types called int, float, long, double, short, byte, boolean, char, string. So these are the data types which we'll use more in Java. So what are these actually? That is, first is int. So int is used to store the integer values. So what are the integer values you have, from negative values to the positive values? You can store any of that value in that int, and the range starts from minus this value to this value. It's actually a pretty good number, so that you can store a big value in that integer variable. And next you have float. Why do we use this float? If you have a decimal number like a 3.8 or 10.5, something like that, you can store that using the float data type. And now the long. So this is also used to store the integer numbers, but if the range is exceeded with the int value, that means if the range is above this value, then you can use this long data type. So actually we will not use this long mostly, but if you want the long data type but it is in the range of int, so we have some conventions to do that. Let's discuss it about a little later. So the next one is double. So here also you can store the decimal values, but what is the difference between this float and double? So the only difference between this float and double is float will store up to 7 decimal digits. That means after the point it will store about 7 decimal digits, and coming to the double, it will store about 15 decimal digits after the point. So that's the main difference between the float and double. That's it. And now the short. Short is also used to store the whole numbers, but mostly we'll be using this int, float, long and double. We'll not be using this short, because mostly we'll use these only while developing any projects or something like that. So we have that data type short, just remember it, that's it. And next we have byte, to store the byte values, something like that, and the range for that is minus 128 to 127. And next we have a boolean, that is true or false. It has only the two values, that is true or false. So you can use that for any conditional purposes, like if the condition is true, then only you should perform these actions. So at that time you can use this boolean type functions. And next we have char, in which you can store up to 65,000 chars. So it is a unique code system, that means a unique code character system in which you can store a single characters like that. So for that we'll use char. And next we have string. So this is the best data type in which we have in Java. So because most of the data which you want to save will be as a string, will be as a text. So when we want to save that text, we will not be able to do that using chars, because it will only store 65,000 chars, that's it. So coming to this, we can store up to 2 million characters. So that string is the best one in which you will use in Java. So that's about the data types. And next, what about the comments? So comments is nothing but if you want some text that should not be executed in the code, you can write them in the comments like this. So I want this text not to be executed in the code, so I kept them in the comments. So what is the syntax? If you want the comments to be multi-line, that means all these lines should not be executed, so I'll put them as this. So 1/ and a star and a star and slash. So if you want to do this for a multiple lines, you can do this like this. Or else if you want to comment for a single line, then you can use a double slash. So that will also be a comment. Let's say hello world. This will be a comment and this will not be executed in the code. Okay, next let's start our coding. So let's define some variables for these data types and print some values based on these data types. So the first one we need to write is the class, right? So class pro2, I'll open the braces. So why this is pro2? Because my file name is saved with the name pro2, and p should be capital, that's obvious. And next we should write public static void main of string args. So this is also the basic one. So whatever the code you need to write, you should write in this main function in the class. So the first one I'll take is int a is equal to 1 2 3. So this is how you define a variable. So this is the variable in which you are storing an integer value 1 2 3. So this is a variable. Okay, and next I'll take a float. Float means we need to save the decimal values, right? Let's say float b is equal to 12.3 like this. So we are storing a float value which have a decimal value like this. And next we have long. So long is also used to store the integer value, but we'll use that when it exceeds the range of int. So what I'll do is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 sorry 10 5 3 6 7 8 9 2. Is this in the range? I don't know. So I'll say this as a capital L. So what I have done is I have taken a number and I have placed a letter L at the end of this number. So this defines that this number is a long value and this is not an integer value. So to define the long value, we need to write a letter L at the end. So next we have double, and that will be double D is equal to 342.56 something. So we are storing a double value here. And one thing you need to remember is here there is a decimal value and here also there is a decimal value. So both are taking the decimal values. How can you define that is a float or double? So what I'll do is here I'll place a letter F so that it will be defined as a float, similar to this. So this should be defined as a long, right? So similarly here I need to define this as F to make that number a float value. And next we have short. Let's say E is equal to 42,000 maybe. Let's see for 42,000 what it shows. So the basic range is 32,000, right? So let's see what it gives for 42,000. And next we have byte, which says F is equal to 1 2 3. That's good because 127 is the range we have given for 123. That's pretty good. Char EFG is equal to, I'll give C, something like this. And next string in which we can store 2 million characters, right? String EFGH is equal to, so whatever the text you need to write, you need to enter in the double quotes, right? So what I'll do is I'll enter codewithKrish, which is my channel name. And next we have Boolean type, that will be true because we only have true or false. That's it, right? So you need not to mention the inverted commas here because the only values we have is true or false. That's it, right? So let's print these values. So how do you print these values? That means in the previous video we have learned about a print statement, right? So you'll use that system.out.println of the integer value is, and I'll use a concatenation operator called plus. So I'll show you what it is, plus and a. So first it prints the integer value is and next puts a colon, and it will concatenate. The meaning of the concatenate is join. So it will join this 1 2 3 for this statement. So that's how you concatenate the values with the string values and print it out in the output. And next we need to print the float value, that is system.out.println of the float value is, I'll say plus b. And next for the next one, this is println system.out.println the long value is C. And next system.out.println of the double value is plus d, and next system dot out dot print ln of the short value is e. As you remember, we'll get error at short. Let's see, will it work or not? Sorry for this. System dot out dot print ln of the char value is char which we have g. What about the byte? We forgot. System dot out dot print ln of the byte value is, sorry for the typing mistakes, because I'm very new to typing and very slow in typing, that's it. And next we have the string and boolean, right? System dot out dot print ln of the string is, I'll say h, and for the last one, system dot out dot print ln of the boolean is, we did not mention a variable here, efghi, this will be I, and here I'll place it as hi, and that's it. Let's run this code. I'll say java c pro2.java. So we have got this error. What is saying? Cannot find the symbol true. Oh my god. This should be small, maybe. Yes, that should be small. And we have another error called E 42,000. So possible loss of precision. So it is saying it is not the short value. We need to decrease this. Let's say 32,000. And let's see now. Java Pro 2. So we got all the values in the output: 123, 12.3, the long value, double value, short value, byte value, character value, string value, and boolean. So that's about the data types and variables and the comment lines. So that's it for now. Hope you guys like this video. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon for instant notifications from my channel. And I'll see you in the next video.